An annual report is a really good idea to create and send out to your donors. It lets them know all the really cool stuff that their donation helped make possible during the year. But if you're like most people and you have a ton of stuff on your plate, you're probably scratching your head wondering, what in the world do I include in my annual report? I'm Sandy Reese, Chief Encouragement Officer at Get Fully Funded, where we show small nonprofits how to raise the money they need to fully fund their operations. And today I want to give you a tip for how to decide what goes in your annual report. Now, if you're like me, when I think of annual report, I think of those ones that I've seen in the past from corporations that are big and thick and they're glossy and tons of color and they look really expensive and they look really hard to produce. Well, good news, you don't have to do it that way. These days, you can create what we call the one-page annual report, which is basically a big infographic that describes what your organization did during the year. Now, what you include in your annual report has a lot to do with how you plan to use that annual report. If you're going to just share it with donors and the community to let them know the highlights of what happened in your organization's work during the year, you don't necessarily need audited financial numbers. You don't need a letter from your board chair. You don't need a ton of information. You only need to hit the highlights. So think about it this way. If I'm your donor and I've given a couple of times during the year and maybe I don't really pay real close attention, so I'm not even really sure that I know exactly what it is your organization does, which, by the way, most of your donors are this way. They're not really paying that close of attention to you. If I'm that donor, what do I need to know to be able to see quickly what your organization did during the year and feel good about my support in helping to make that happen? Ask yourself that question. That will help you filter out all the crap that you don't need to include in the annual report and only include the good stuff. A good story, a really short good story, and a good photo is always going to help you tell the story of what your organization did. If you have lots of different programs, see if you can find what the programs have in common so that you can tell one story that's applicable to all your programs. If you have a lot of programs that really don't have a lot to do with each other, then you may want to have a strategic planning session where you look at why you have so many disjointed programs, because it's probably very hard to raise money if that's the case. But to keep your annual report really simple, ask yourself, what does your donor need to know in order to feel good about giving to your organization and to want to keep going? You can get more tips just like this over on our blog at getfullyfunded.com/blog. Be sure to sign up while you're there so you can get fresh articles delivered right to your inbox every Tuesday. And you'll find more videos like this on our YouTube channel at getfullyfundedtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you get all these great fundraising tips every time we release them, because you're not going to want to miss a one. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.